Hello, guys, welcome again in this video lecture series for multi-stage amplifiers. See, let's have a look what we had in last lecture. Okay, this is what we started with some analysis and concluded with this how I can select the bypass capacitor in the design procedure. Right. Here, today we can start with the design procedure for two-stage RC coupled amplifier. Is it? Let me start with this design procedure. See, as I told you that design procedure for two-stage RC coupled amplifier is similar to that of design of single-stage RC coupled amplifier. Is it? Why I'm saying that? Because see, we have seen that analysis. Whatever equations I have derived for single-stage amplifier, I can apply the same to multi-stage amplifier. That is for two-stage amplifiers. Is it? So that's why the design process also I can opt from this single-stage RC coupled amplifier. Right. But here now today what we will do, intentionally I will consider a design problem and will design this two-stage RC coupled amplifier with some different method. Right. That method includes consideration of output impedance of first stage as well as input impedance of second stage. Right. The loading effect intentionally here I am going to consider in this design method. Right. So that's why only one problem will discuss and you will come to know that we can design two-stage RC coupled amplifier by different ways, and this is one of them, which is very good and very practical actually. Right. Here I am going to consider a loading effect, the maximum power transfer theorem we are going to use, that concept I am going to use here. Why? Because see, the maximum power has to be transferred from stage 1 to the stage 2. That's what the thing. Right. Then only I can get maximum output voltage. Otherwise, see, if there is a loss in between, for example, if for single stage or first stage of amplifier has generated output voltage of 10 volt, and because of impedance mismatch, that 10 volt is not fully get applied to the input of the second stage, then what will be the use? So that's why transfer of maximum power or transfer of maximum output voltage from stage 1 to stage 2 is really important. So here we'll consider that when when we start with the design, you will come to know each and everything in detail. So let us write down the design statement. I'll write here question. Okay, as you are there with me, I'll dictate the question. You keep writing. I'll just write what are the given things. Okay, so I'll just read the question. I hope pen and paper is there with you. You start writing with me. Write down. Design two-stage RC coupled amplifier. Design two-stage RC coupled amplifier for following specifications. Now, what are the specifications? Write down. Output voltage is given here. That is 4 volt peak to peak. Then frequency is given. That frequency is always lower cutoff frequency, you know that, 20 hertz. And then HFE of a transistor is also given, that is 110. What else they have specified? Then HIE for a transistor is also given, that is 4.5 kilo ohm. And gain of each stage is 25, that is AV1 is equals to AV2 is equals to 25. See, they have mentioned voltage gain for each stage of the amplifier. Okay. Now, whenever we start with any design, the first thing that we do is circuit diagram, is it? So here you have to draw circuit diagram. Don't draw it right now. You skip few lines so that you do it afterwards. Here with me, you just start with the equation and calculations. Right. So have some space for this circuit diagram. You draw it later on. Now this method is, as I told you, that it is based on maximum power transfer theorem. Right. What is that maximum power transfer theorem? Look at this. Here, if I am connecting stage 1, and here if I am connecting stage 2, Then if stage 1 gives us output voltage of 10 volt, for example here somewhere I am having output voltage of 10 volt, that 10 volt has to be fully get applied as an input to the stage 2. Here, when it will be applied fully to the input of stage 2, when this impedance and this impedance will get matched, that is output impedance of first stage, if it is matching with input impedance of second stage, then only that 10 volt fully get applied to the input of the second stage. Otherwise what will happen is that generally what happens when there is no matching or there is a little mismatch, there is a loss. For example, consider if there is a loss, then that 10 volt, because of the loss, only 8 to 7 volt will get applied to the input of stage 2. So obviously less input voltage to the stage 2 will produce less output voltage from stage 2. Is that? So it means that because of that less output voltage, we can't achieve the desired gain, which was the basic aim for this multi-stage amplifier or two-stage RC coupled amplifier. Is it? So that's why impedance matching is really important practically. So here we are going to consider that thing that is really important. Is it? So we'll discuss it first as a traditional method. Let us start with the procedure by selecting VCC and all those. Yeah. So first you select VCC. How can I select this VCC? VCC should be equals to, or generally what we write here like this, it is greater than or equals to. Yeah, that's what the traditional process we follow from last semester. It is twice of VO peak to peak. Now how much VO peak to peak is given, just check. Okay, 4 volt is the VO peak to peak given. So 4 volt multiplied by 2 is equals to 8. So I can select VCC greater than or equals to 8. So as if I want VCC greater than or equals to 8, I will select VCC is equals to 10 volt. You can select 10 volt, 12 volt, 11 volt, no issue. For a nice standard, I am selecting VCC is equals to 10 volt. So this is what the first thing I have calculated. After that, what we do? We assume that voltage VRE. After selection of VCC, we know the method is fixed. The same thing we will follow here. Select VRE, then select VCQ. Yes, the traditional method, whatever we have followed in last semester, we will follow that. Now, how I can select VRE? Generally, it is 15% of VCC. Right. So it will be then VRE, which is equals to then 1.5 volt. So this VRE that I am calculating, this is nothing but voltage across resistor RE1 and voltage across resistor RE2. Now what is that RE1 and RE2? RE1 is the resistor at the first stage and this RE2 is the resistor at the second stage. Right, emitter resistor of first stage, emitter resistor of second stage. Is it? We will have the same thing. Now after that what we do? With this traditional method, it is calculation for VCEQ. That VCEQ, I am saying it is VCEQ1 and VCEQ2. That is VCEQ for the first transistor and the VCEQ for the second transistor. How we calculate it? It is VCC divided by 2. What is the value of VCC? Yes, it is 10. So 10 by 2, it means it will be now 5 for both the stages. Is that? So that's what I am fixing. VRE, VCEQ and VCC for both the stages. So those are the common things I have calculated. Is it? Now after that I have to calculate resistor RC1 for first stage, RC2 for second stage, R1, R2 for first stage, R3, R4 for second stage. Like this, step by step we'll go ahead. Okay? And you will come to know that equations are so simple, even quite same. Here now what we will do, we will divide this page into two columns. Let me check whether shapes are available. Yes, shapes are available. Okay, I'll divide this. Okay, that's a long line I have drawn. Okay, done. come here. Now this here in this left part I will calculate values for the components in the first stage, is it? Or I'll write here it is a stage 1, and here I will calculate values for stage 2. Okay, let me check, there is an issue with this holding pad. Now yeah, this thing I can have this, sorry, little noise. So stage 1 is there in left hand side and stage 2 is there in the right hand side. Now see, in case of second stage, the equation for voltage gain, it is completely clear. Look at this. How can I write equation for second stage? That is voltage gain from the second stage. It is completely clear. It is HFE divided multiplied by RC divided by HIE. Now look at this. This RC is collector resistor of second stage, is it? Or simply what I will write then, instead of writing this RC, I'll write it is output impedance of second stage. Now what is that output impedance of second stage? Output impedance of second stage is collector resistor of second stage in parallel with load resistor. But see, in my case load resistor is not there. So what I have then, I have R02 is equals to RC2. So equation will again become AV2 will be equals to HFE multiplied by RC2 divided by HIE. Yes, that's what it is. Now this HFE and HIE which are given in the design statement are HFE of a transistors that I am using in the stage 1 as well as I am using in stage 2. It means I am using same transistor. That's what the basic assumption and consideration. Now AV2 is given, it is 25, because in the design statement itself they have declared that for both stages voltage gain is 25. HFE is 110, that is also given. The value of RC2, that's what I want to calculate, and the value of HIE is 4.5 kilo ohm, that is also given. Kilo means 10 raised to 3. So by that I'm just using my calculator and calculating value of RC2 is 25, then multiply by 4.5 k divided by 110, then what I am getting is 1k, 1.02 something kilo ohm, approximately it is 1k. So this is the value of a collector resistor that I am going to connect at the stage 2. Look at this. The procedure is so simple, the same traditional method that we are following from last semester. That's what it is, isn't it? This is what resistance at the collector. Now the thing at stage 1 is quite different here, is it? At stage 1 there is a consideration of maximum power transfer theorem, the concept of maximum power transfer that I am going to use here. How then? Look at here, the equation for voltage gain AV1. Here I'll write the equation as HFE. Look at here, the same equation, HFE multiplied by RO2. Here I will write R01, that is output impedance of stage 1, divided by HIE. This is the approximate H parameter analysis what I had. Now what is that RO1? That is output impedance of stage 1. It is a parallel combination of output impedance of stage 1 and input impedance of stage 2. Look at this. Now what is this? It is RC1 in parallel with R in 2. I hope the thing is clear. Output impedance of a first stage in parallel with input impedance of second stage. That is what the cumulative impedance I am getting at the interaction or at the coupling of stage 1 and stage 2. This is what my R01. So this value I need to calculate and I need to put in the equation of gain, is it? But now see what maximum power transfer theorem says. Look at this. Again, I will explain what is maximum power transfer theorem. Maximum power transfer theorem says the power that is generated or the voltage which is generated at the output of first stage will be transferred fully to the second stage only if this impedance matching with this impedance. Now what is this impedance? This is RC1. Now what is this impedance? This is whatever Rin2. It means if I want to transfer full energy from stage 1 to stage 2, then those two impedance should be matched. Is it? It means RC1 should be matched with Rin2. Then only I can transfer maximum power from stage 1 to stage 2. That's what the theory is. And this is the aim. I want to design an amplifier where the coupling loss should be 0. So that's why I will match those impedances. It means from here I will write something like from a maximum power transfer theorem, I will put RC1 is equals to Rin2. Yes, that's what I need to do. RC1 has to be equals to Rin2. That is, output impedance of stage 1 must be matched, must be equal to the input impedance of stage 2. That's what I will put. Is it? So when I say RC1 is equals to Rin2, then what about the value of R01? It will be RC1 in parallel with Rin2. Now as if RC1 is equals to Rin2, what I can write, look at this, what I can write is, I'll clearly write it is RC1 and I will replace this Rin2 with RC1 because RC1 is nothing but Rin2. This is what value of my RO1. Now write down the parallel equation. RC1 multiply by RC1 divided by RC1 plus RC1. Now what it will be then? It is RC1 square divided by twice of RC1. Look at this. So I can cancel this and this. Finally, I can write equation for R01 something like RC1 divided by 2. So this is what my R01. Now this value I will put in the equation of gain, that is I have written at the start, that is HFE R01 divided by HIE. Now let's calculate the gain with the same equation. It is AV1 is equals to, now what is the equation? It is HFE multiplied by R01 divided by HIE. Now what is this R01? Yes, put this value. It will be HFE multiplied by RC1 divided by twice of HIE. So I'm just putting value of RO1 is equals to RC1 divided by 2. Is it? And this is what my AV1. Now what is value of AV1? AV1 is 25, which is given. What is value of HFE? It is 110 given. What is value of RC1? That's what I need to calculate. Then what is the value of HIE? It is 4.5 kilo ohm. Now see, use your calculator and calculate the value of RC1. You use your calculator. Meanwhile, I will continue with this line. No, I can't select. Yes, I can. Yes, see, further I'm just extending the same line. Quite enough, I think. So are you done with this value of RC1? So let me check value of RC1, 110 multiplied by this divided by 4.5k, it is 2.04 kilo ohm. Yes, this is what the value of RC1. Yes, RC1 we are done with. What about RC2? We have calculated. Just check what is the value of RC2. It is 1k, 1.02. Now Compare the values of RC1 and RC2. Value of RC2 is exactly half of value of RC1. That's what, this is what actual litmus test. If you are following this process, you should know whether my answer, whatever you have calculated, is right or wrong. Just compare two values for RC1 and RC2. You will come to know one value is half of another, or another one is double of one. That's what the actual litmus test of your design procedure is it. So this is how I can calculate value of collector resistors. Then after that, let us calculate what is its Q point current, that is ICQ1 and ICQ2. Parallelly we will solve for both the stages. You will come to know the difference. Now how can I calculate this ICQ and ICQ for first and ICQ for second? Obviously by applying KVL to the output loop. Now KVL to the output loop of first stage, it will be ICQ1 multiplied by RC1 plus VCEQ1. VCQ1 is equals to VCQ2 is equals to VCQ. So that's why I will not write VCQ1 or 2. I'll just write VCQ. Is it? Plus VRE. Now see, this equation, VCC is known, that is 10, I think, yes, 10. RC1 just now you have calculated 2K. VCQ is, I think it is 5, and VRE is 1.5. Look at this. I'll put all those values. It is 10. Then ICQ1, what is the value of RC? Oh, it's sorry, 2.04K plus what is the value of VCQ? It is 5 plus 1.5. Then by using calculator, simply I'm getting the value as let me check, it is 1.7 milliamperes. You write your own value, you use your own calculator, calculate your value can be 1.71 or something, whatever. So this is the value of ICQ1 that I am getting for stage 1. Is it? Now I can have this same procedure for ICQ2. Look at here. In this case, again I have to apply KVL to the second stage. So here I will write ICQ2 multiplied by RC2 plus, it must be VCEQ2. I'm not writing 2, I'll just write VCQ and VRE, because VCQ and VRE are same for both the stages. That's what the assumption. Now here, see, VCC is known, RC2 just now calculated, VCQ is known, VRE is known. So here in that case, I will get ICEQ is equals to 3.4 milliamperes. Now again compare this value of VCQ1 and VCQ2. Look at this. VCQ2 is 1.7 and here it is 3.4 milliamperes. Now here ICQ, not VCQ. ICE, it is ICQ only. Okay, ICQ1 is 1.7 and 3.4. That is ICQ1 is half of ICQ2. Is it? So this is what I just wanted to highlight in this design, that whatever values you are calculating, those values you need to compare with another stage. Okay. Now after that, again if I want to calculate a resistor, that is emitter resistors RE1, and here I will calculate RE2 in second column. Now how I calculate RE1? It will be equals to voltage across resistor RE divided by ICQ1. Here it will be voltage across resistor RE, which is same as that of first one, divided by ICQ2. So whatever value for ICQ2 and ICQ1 you have calculated, you just need to put them and calculate. That is 1.5 divided by 1.7 milliamperes. Here I will write 1.5 divided by 3.4 milliamperes. Hence by calculator, what I am getting here? I am getting here 882.3 ohm. This is what the value of RE1. Obviously here the value will be, yes, exactly, it is half of that. That is 441 0.1 ohm. So this is the value for Re2. See, the procedure is same as that of single stage RC coupled amplifier. Only I'm parallelly calculating values for stage 1 and stage 2. It is a good practice and it is a good method to teach you, and it is a good thing to understand actually. Now after that, calculation for biasing resistors. Again we'll follow the same process. Okay, still we'll continue, we'll not leave as it is. Let me check whether, yes, I can select this line, I can extend this line. Yes, it is possible. Let me check whether I'm doing the, yes, we are on same nice track. Sufficient. Yes, I'm not disturbing anyone. Take it, done. This here value of Re1 and Re2 is done. Biasing resistors. Biasing resistors means here I can write R1 and R2 are the biasing resistors. Here parallelly I can write R3 and R4 are the biasing resistors. Now here let us calculate biasing resistors for the stage 1 first. If it is stage 1, then what I can write? I can write, let I1 is the current which is flowing through resistor R1. Let's assume that I1 is the current flowing through resistor R1 and I2 is the current flowing through resistor R2. Parallelly I will write same thing for resistor R3 and R4. So here I will write I3 is the current flowing through resistor R3 and I4 is the current flowing through resistor R4. Is it? No, there is a, yes, just take a break. Okay, sorry guys, there was a small technical problem. So here we are. I1 is the current flowing through resistor R1 and I2 is the current flowing through R2. Is it? That's what. Now let me check things are going correct. Audible? Yes, done. Yes, that's what. Now after assumption, let us calculate the voltage across resistor R2. Here in second column what we'll do, we'll calculate voltage across resistor R4. So let us start with first column, that voltage across resistor R2. But voltage across resistor R2 is we know it very well, it is VBE plus VRE. We have used the same equation so many times. Here also I can copy the same thing. VR4 is nothing but VBE. Here I supposed to write VBE1 and here I supposed to write VBE2. If I am using both transistors of same type, then VBE1 is equals to VBE2 is equals to VB, that I can put it as 0.7 if I am using silicon transistor, is it? Plus VRE. Now here it will be 0.7 plus, what is the value? 1.55. Yes. So value will be 2.2 volt. Here also I will get value is equals to 2.2 volt, as VB1, 2 is are same and VR is also same. Now after that I will assume that, let's assume that value of current which is flowing through resistor R2, that is I2, is 10% of ICQ1. Here what I will assume, I4, that is flowing through resistor R4, is 10% of ICQ2. Now what is that? I2 value, it is now 10% of ICQ1. What is the value of ICQ1? It is 1.7 milliamperes, I think. So 10% of 1.7 means 0.70 milliamperes. Now here value of ICQ2 is 3.4 milliamperes. So 10% of 3.4 is 0.34 milliamperes. So this is 0.34 amperes. Now see, I know voltage flowing through this resistor. I know current, sorry, voltage across this resistor, current flowing through this resistor. Same thing, current flowing through this resistor, voltage across the resistor. So I can easily calculate the value of resistor R2. Parallelly, I can calculate resistor value for resistor R4. Look at this. It is VR4 divided by I. That is 2.2 volt divided by 0.34 milliamperes. Here it will be, you calculate this value 2.2 divided by 0.34 milliampere. Meanwhile, I'll write here it is VR2 divided by I2. What is the value of VR2? It is 2.2 divided by ICQ 10% over 0.17. Already we have written milliamperes. Now what is the value of R2? Value of R2 is 12.9 ohm. This is the value I'm getting, and value of R4 is 6.4 kilo. Yes, and this is what the value of R4 that I'm getting. Compare those values now, 12.9 and 6.4. Right. So are the values for resistor R2 and R4. Now okay, let's calculate value for R1, second biasing resistor. Here it will be R3, that is second biasing resistor. How can I go for that? Voltage across resistor R1. Find out the voltage across resistor and the current flowing through the resistor. Same strategy. So what is voltage across resistor R1? Obviously it is VCC minus VR2. Why? Because VCC is nothing but summation of VR1 and VR2. VCC get divided across these two resistors. Here the same thing I can write for R3, then VR is to VCC minus voltage across resistor R4. Now what is VCC? I think it is 10. What is VR2? What is the value of VR2 we have calculated? It is 2.2. It is 10 minus 2.2. Answer will be same, 7.8 volt. Here also I'll get 7.8 volt. So this is what voltage across resistor R1 and voltage across resistor R3. Now what we will do with this voltage? We can't do anything if I don't get current. Here it is current that I need to calculate is I1 and here the current that I want, which is flowing through R3. Now I1, how can I calculate I1? I1 is summation of I2, that is flowing through resistor R2 plus the base current. Isn't it? This because the resistor R1 is here, R2 is here, and this is what the current which is flowing into the base. So obviously current is summation of this and this current. Look at this. This is IB, this is I2, and this is I1. Your KCL, I1 is equals to I2 plus IB. Here I can write the same thing. I3 is equals to, what is the value of I3 then? It will be current flowing through resistor R4, that is I4 plus the base current IB. So right here value of I2 is known, but value of IB is not known. So it means somewhere I need to calculate value of IB first. How can I calculate value of IB? Yes, I have equation IC1 divided by HFE. I can calculate IB, that is IB2, same way as that of ICQ2 divided by, and that's the only difference in the value. The values are different because of its collector currents are different. Alright, so that's why instead of writing IB, I'll write IB1. Here I will write IB2. then things will be more clear in our case. Now see, calculate this value of I2. Value of I2, yes, value of I2 already we have calculated. It is 0.17 milliamperes. Right, 0.17 plus this ICQ. What is value of ICQ1? The value of ICQ1, I forgot the value of ICQ1. I2 we have calculated. Or I2 is 0.17 and value of ICQ1 is 1.7. How can I forget that? 1.7 milliamperes divided by 100. That's what. To calculate this value, meanwhile, I will write equations here. I4 is the current, which is 0.30 milliamperes, plus ICQ2 is 34 milliamperes, sorry, 3.4 milliampere divided by 110. I hope you have calculated value for this I1. So what is the value of I1? It is 0.8, sorry, 18 milliamperes. Here value of I3 will be this is value of I3. In second column, I3 will be 0.30 milliamperes. Those are the values of I1 and I3 are calculated. Now what I know is the current flowing through resistor R1 and R3, and we know the voltage across resistor R1 and resistor R3. So let us calculate then value of R1 and value of R3. Look at this, VR3 divided by 3, which is equal to VR1 divided by R1. Now what is the value of VR1? 7.8 divided by 7.8 divided by 0.18, 0.185 milliamperes. Here it will be 7.8 divided by, what is the value? 0.37 milliamperes. The value of it is 42.16 K. Those are just part of calculation, and value of R3 it will be 21.08 kilo. My students have calculated all those values, so I'm just taking reference of those. So look at this. This is the value for resistor R1, R2 and R3, R4. Those are biasing resistors. Is it not? Those are purely biasing resistors. And now, see, after biasing resistors, what is the last thing that we need to calculate? Are coupling capacitor and bypass capacitor. See, coupling capacitor values and bypass capacitor values, we are used to calculate them. It is so simple. But somewhere, now we'll calculate them as a common thing now. Okay, first, okay, now that border line or the center line is not needed. What I will have this. I'll erase this line from here. Yes, now I will erase that, because the value of coupling capacitors and bypass capacitors, whatever I'm calculating for stage 1, I'll put the same values for stage 2. Is it? So here I will write calculation for CE and see, calculation of CC is so simple. First we will calculate value of CC, CE, bypass capacitor. How can I calculate bypass capacitor? You remember we have written different equation, that is XCE is 0.65 multiplied by HIE divided by 1 plus HFE. Yes, intentionally we started with this. Now you just need to put the values. HIE is known 4.5, it is 110, and XCE, what is the XCE? XCE is nothing but 1 divided by 2 pi F multiplied by CE. What is that F? It is 20 hertz. And that CE, look at this, with this 0.65 multiplied by 0.5 kilo divided by 1 plus 110. Now look at this. From all these equations, this frequency is known, everything is known. Just calculate the value of CE. Let me check the value of CE, bypass capacitor. They have calculated. See, they got value of 302 microfarad. students have calculated value of 302 microfarad. This is how I can calculate value of CE. Now this is what value for CE1 as well as CE2. For both the stages I am calculating bypass capacitor value as 302 microfarad. Right, now calculation for coupling capacitors. It's not needed actually, but still, as we have done so many things, the last thing, why to keep it as pending? So go for it then. Calculation for bypass capacitor. So coupling capacitor. Again, I'm doing so many mistakes while talking. Because see, when you start doing the same thing again and again and again, you get bored of that. So like this, I also got bored of designing that single stage RC coupled amplifier with two stage amplifier. Design procedure is same, given equations whatever I'm using are same. So I'm telling you, I'm teaching you the same thing again and again and again. I hope you understand that. Okay, come to that coupling capacitor. This coupling capacitor CC, we have this XCC, that is capacitive reactance, as 10% of input impedance, that is R into. If calculating this for second stage, is it? Look at this. I'll write for second stage. See, because coupling is needed to the second stage only, na? Is it? This is stage 1. Here is your coupling capacitor, and here is stage 2. So I want to calculate this capacitor. Yes, so that's why what I will do, I'll write XCC, that is capacitive reactance, is 10% of R in 2 only. Is that? So what is that R in 2 value? R in 2. I hope you remember that. For maximum power transfer, we have assumed that value of R in 2 is nothing but RC. Is it? Now what is RC1 value you have calculated? You remember, but value of RC is, it looks like C. RC1, just check what is the value of RC1. It is taking a lot of time to load. Okay, we'll go. RC1 is 2.4K. 2.04K. So RC1 is 2.04K. Now look at this. So it means that XCC is actually 10% of 2.04K. Now 10% of 2.04K means what? 0.204K, and this is what? X is 1 divided by 2 pi FCC. Now what is the value of F? It is 20 Hertz. Now see, frequency is known, this right hand side is known. Calculate value of capacity. Let me check what is the value previously. Last year students, they have calculated 39 microfarad, and this is what coupling capacitor value. Let's see, we have calculated biasing resistors, the coupling capacitor, bypass capacitor. Okay, the last thing which is quite important is selection of transistor. How can I select the transistor? See, HFE is known, which is 110. HIE is also known, 4.5K. Just go through it, go through data sheet, and then select a transistor. Now for this specifications, even the value of ICQ are about, maximum is 3.4 milliamperes, na? 34 milliamperes or something, is it? So for those specifications, as per my knowledge, SL100 and even BC547, these transistors are quite okay. Those are sufficient. Is that? Sheet is there, just data sheet, and you can select any other transistor apart from that BC and SL. No issue. So this is what quite different method that I want to tell you about design of two-stage RC coupled amplifier. There are so many methods to design RC coupled amplifier, direct coupled amplifier. This is one quite different which people use when they want that impedance matching concept and all, isn't it? So here we'll stop this lecture, and I will pass on the remaining design notes to you people. There are so many design problems, you just go through it, you will come to know the process is quite simple. It's so simple, it is same as that we had in last semester. Alright, so I hope uh, you enjoyed it and you have done it. So thanks a lot, we are going to stop here now. This is what I said. Thank you.